Today we're going to talk about one of the most notorious and legendary heavy metal bands of all time, Pantera, that have spanned many different metal genres, from glam to normal heavy metal to thrash to groove to extreme metal. Some say they even innovated a lot of later bands on their own, like Lamb of God and shit like that. But like a lot of great things, they have to start from the absolute bottom with a horrendous fucking atrocity known as Metal Magic, which came out in '83, and the artwork looks like ass. It's some sort of cat man that looks very gay, and that's what this album is. It's just all very, very, very gay. And what sucks is not only is the music terrible and the performances don't sound good or the direction is bad, but the production is absolutely horrendous. I mean, at this point I think it's fucking black metal because it's so lo-fi. It's ridiculous. The members on there are pretty much the same members that you're going to get for the first three albums, which are all known as the Pantera albums, because each one of them is kind of glammy, kind of resembling more of Kiss as opposed to Judas Priest or fucking Slayer down the road. First three are very glammy, but I would argue that the two albums after are so much more different and so much better written, have more things going for it than this hunk of shit, which is just absolute Kiss worship and then absolute like Bon Jovi Poison worship in all the worst ways. I hate almost every fucking thing about this album. So we have the personnel, you have, of course, Vinnie Paul Abbott, who him and his brother Dimebag Darrell Abbott actually founded this band, Pantera. And I believe that they pretty much started this basing off the idea of like them worshiping Kiss. They were a southern band, and a lot of people cite them as having like a metal band that has a great southern bluesy tinge, but that didn't really start until later down the road. I mean, the first 3 or 4 albums sound nothing like they have a bluesy tinge to it at all. It just sounds like straight up Kiss worship for this album. They also got a really cool bassist by the name of Rex Brown, who's a great player. He's completely fucking inaudible on this album for the most part, but he's actually pretty much a badass, and he didn't want to wear spandex and all that shit. I don't know how they talked him into it, because he's just such a straight up southern Texas badass, but I don't know about that. And then they have this guy named Terry Glaze who sings on the first 3 albums. Has this really weird, glammy, but sometimes good high screaming voice. But of course the main man, Dimebag, or at this time known as Diamond Darrell Abbott, and even back then he actually showed signs of being a guitar virtuoso, playing stuff that was a lot more like, I'd say, Randy Rhoads, as opposed to what a lot of people just think of him as, just a really bad Zakk Wylde ripoff. Which he did more of the pinch harmonics and whammy bar stuff down the road, but he's always shown off his incredible pentatonic scales that he does that are just like the continuation of Randy Rhoads. Right when he dies, Dimebag comes in, continuing his legacy. But let's talk about the forgettable ass music on this album. And a lot of people, bash Pantera, even Pantera fans, they like to ignore this whole era. And I'd like to tell you that this is the only album you need to ignore. This is the epitome of what they make fun of. I mean, the fucking band pretty much just ignores this whole era. And even power metal, where it got heavier and they got Phil in the band, that's still ignored. And a lot of people don't even know these albums exist. But of course, this one, hunk of shit, completely the stereotype of what early Pantera is, the fake Pantera and all this shit. So we have horrible songs like Ride My Rocket, which is just pure shit, and they have some really bad power ballads on it that is just the most high levels of cringe you could possibly get on a hair metal album. And then there's just bizarre Kiss worship like Sad Lover, which sounds like it was straight off the Kiss debut or something like that, and it's not even good. It's just so Kiss that it hurts. Like, it just feels like a fucking cover. And then you have an okay song like what's that song called? Dimebag Darrell singing it, I believe, called I'm Alright. The only reason I kind of like it is because the chorus where he says, I'll be alright. And it just kind of sounds a little bit heavier, but it's still really not that good. The only song worth checking off this whole album, the whole fucking album, only one song really worth listening to is Metal Magic. That song actually has some really good riffs. It sounds like ass. The singing you can already hear has some really gruff rawness to it. It sounds like some like high-pitched, mean shit. And I love the riffs in there. And like I said, it's just overall a really heavy song on such a shitty album. So that's Metal Magic. I'm going to give it a 2 out of 10. It's completely unenjoyable except for like maybe 1 or 2 songs.